First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dukden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of Homa today, Maha Mayuri Buddha. Maha Mayuri Sutra. Maha Mayuri Assembly. Homage to Vairocana Buddha. Homage to the fundamental teacher Sakyamuni Buddha. Homage to Amitabha Buddha of the Western Paradise. Danzen Katsu. Tuden City. All Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples. Good afternoon. How do you do? Good afternoon. How do you do? Aisteru. Sarangi.
Hola amigo.
Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sugoi. Ichiban. Kimochi. Jumi. Yapi.
Konnichiwa. 大家午安。
Konnichiwa. Good afternoon. How do you do? Today,
看那个云端很热看到很遥远的地方。
as I was looking at the clouds,
那么出现在云端上面。
I saw very far away, and there were disciple on the clouds, a disciple from Anhui, China, and also from all over the world, from Indonesia, many, and also from Malaysia, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, many countries, from Europe, many disciples, Singapore, they all appeared on the clouds. I was very happy seeing that.
跟大家祝福大家身体健康。
So I wish all of you a good health and everything is auspicious and strong spiritual commitment and diligence in your practice so that every one of you can have attainments in the future. First, I would like to announce For next Sunday,
6月21日
June 21st,
next week, June 21, afternoon 3 o'clock p.m. 是救瘟疫度母
at 3 p.m., there would be the Homa fire of the ceremony of Tara, who dispels epidemics.
我们知道这一次的这个
We all know that the
到
pandemic
目
this
前为
time,
止，
up
有些
until
国家是
now,
比较缓和的，
there are some countries who have contained it,
方兴未艾，
but there are
还是
some countries that have their cases continually
真的是
increasing.
很难把这一次的瘟疫
It's very
跟
difficult
冠状病毒完全
to
驱除
completely
清净。
eradicate the pandemic and
所以我们下个
coronavirus
礼
this
拜还是
time.
要做
So
救
next
瘟
week
疫
we
度
will
母护摩法
perform
会。
the Homa of Tara, who dispels
我也
epidemics
曾经讲
again.
过，
I once
像昨
said,
天晚上我讲，
like last night,
第一个我们希望
first, I hope
冠状病毒
that the
赶快
coronavirus
消失跟过去。
can disappear
第二
quickly.
个，世界
And
各
second,
国的经济贸易
that the global economy and
能
trade
够互相的
of all countries
这个货畅其流。货畅其流就是每个国家的
can
贸易能
recover
够重新在一起，
so that the
就是经济能够好。
trade and production can restart and recover so that the
在
economy
美
can
国
be
地
better.
区的
And third,
种族
in America,
能够平和，
I hope that
和平
the
平和
different racial ethnicities
就
can
是
live in harmony and
师尊本身呢
at peace with each
的
other.
祈求，让
That's
冠状病毒
Grandmaster's
能
own
够消
prayers
失掉，
so that coronavirus can
让经
disappear
济
soon,
能够
so
起
that
飞，
economy can take off again,
让美国的种族
so that
能
the
够和平
racism in
平
America
和平等，
can be, so that all different races in
这是非常重
America
要的。
can live in
那么
harmony
下个礼拜
with
是
equality,
救
justice,
瘟疫度母的附魔法会，这个
and liberty. So next
上保
Sunday,
佑啊，
we will perform the Homa of Tara, who dispels
希望能够
epidemics, to request for her
显
protection.
法力，
We hope that Tara, who dispels epidemics, will
所有的
manifest her majestic power to eradicate the pandemic and the coronavirus from all the countries.
.这开始以前呢，师尊先讲一个
Before
笑
the
话。
Dharma teaching, let Grandmaster share
老
a
师
joke.
问小明，
The teacher asked Xiaoming,
人类和什么动物最相似？
what kind of
人类跟什
animals
么动物最相
is
似？
closest to human beings?
这个小明回答：
And
青蛙。
Xiaoming replied, frogs.
啊，你们想一想，人类跟青蛙有什么相似之点？小明居然回答青蛙。老师
So
都
what's
愣
the
住
similarity
为
between
什么讲青蛙？
frogs and
老
human
师就
beings?
问小明，为什么呢？
So the teacher asked
小明回
Xiaoming,
答：
how come?
因为都是蝌蚪
And
里
Xiaoming
面。
replied, because they were all transformed from the tadpoles.
小明很聪明的。
Xiaoming is very smart.
人类跟青蛙有什么关系？
What is the relationship between human beings and frogs? Because human beings and frogs come from the tadpoles. So this is also the science of logic, because when tadpole grows up, it becomes frog. And human beings also came from this semen, like also a kind of worm that ran the fastest, that became a human being. So this is considered a science of logic. Now we will do the question and answer. Grandmaster, how are you? At the end of the Padmakumara deity yoga, during its merit dedication, there is a phrase. A mantra is a rebirth in the Mahatwin lotus ponds. Is there a special meaning to it? Please be compassionate and teach us. Let me tell you. The Padmakumara mantra, Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom, has a very broad meaning of the universe. The great lineage root guru emanated from the lotus and with the attainment to the Mahatwin lotus ponds. Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom. Emanation from the lotus and the Mahatwin lotus ponds. If you are able to chant the root guru mantra 8 million times and still continue to chant, then your attainment will be called the attainment by upholding the clear light, lucidity. So you're upholding the clear light radiance of the mantra continually. Padmakumara, lineage root guru, will appear in front of you at your moment of death and to guide you to the Mahatwin lotus ponds. That's the meaning of this phrase. A mantra is a rebirth in the Mahatwin lotus ponds. With just one mantra of our disciples, those who chant Padmakumara mantra, which is Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom, that's the mantra for all Padmakumaras. Just by chanting this mantra, if you chant it until you emit clear light radiance, and Padmakumara appears to guide you to the Mahatwin lotus ponds. So that's the meaning of a mantra is the rebirth in Mahatwin lotus ponds. Is there someone like that? Yes. Our translator, Dharma Sister Hanifa's father and mother chanted the Padmakumara mantra. And hiking our Lokitasvara Sutra and the Padmakumara mantra. By the power of the hiking Kuan Yin Sutra and Padmakumara mantra, after they pass away, they had a huge very big sariras, as big as the fingertips.
这个就证明他们本身已经到了。
So this proof that they have gone to the Mahatwin lotus ponds.
这个就是一咒寄生双莲子。
So that's the meaning of a mantra is a rebirth in Mahatwin lotus ponds. They just chanted the root guru mantra and the hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra.
它有特别的含义。
So it has a very special meaning. A mantra is a rebirth in the Mahatwin lotus ponds. There are many Padma Kumaras. The great Guru Padmasambhava, the founder, the patriarch of Tantric Buddhism, was also a Padma Kumara. He was born out of a lotus in the lotus ponds. And the white lotus king, the second king of Shambhala, the kingdom of the Buddha land, the white lotus king was also a Padma Kumara. And Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva is also a Padma Kumara. And many more Padma Kumaras, innumerable, countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are Padma Kumaras. Therefore, this phrase, a mantra, is a rebirth in Mahatwin lotus ponds. It's extremely nice, very perfect, very powerful. To let you experience the amazing.
再来一个问题。
The next question.
师尊佛安。
Grandmaster, peace with you. Your disciple is grateful for your guidance in my dream, directing me to take refuge in the true Buddha. I do practice Tantric Dharma. How can I ensure that in all my lifetimes, my future lifetimes, I will never forget my affinity with Grandmaster, to always rely upon you. I also ask for your forgiveness and repentance. So how can you ensure that in your future lives you never forget Padma Kumara? First, you can do it as soon as you gain spiritual union with Padma Kumara. You frequently visualize Grandmaster sitting on top of your head. You frequently chant Padma Kumara mantra. You frequently visualize Padma Kumara entering into your heart chakra, seated on top of the lotus of your heart chakra. And you are in union with Padma Kumara, and you gain spiritual union with Padma Kumara. Then in all of your lifetimes you would have affinity with Padma Kumara. In your future lifetimes you would have affinity with Padma Kumara.
也就是说，不会忘记以师尊之言，永
So you will never forget your affinity with Grandmaster, to always rely upon you. That would be the best method.
然后再来有一个问题。
The next question.
师尊佛安。 弟子想请问师尊曾在2015年1月19
On January 19th, 2015, during your interview in Taiwan with the Apple Daily newspaper and Next magazine, You showed us a special mudra to avert evils. Palms together, the ring fingers bound outward, and the four fingers hooking on the ring fingers. Could you please expound on it more? The details, its origin, when to use it, whether it should be accompanied by a mantra and visualization, etc. Thank you, Grandmaster. Both palms joined together. All of a sudden, someone asked about the mudra on January 19, 2015. During your interview in Taiwan with Apple Daily newspaper and Next magazine, you showed us a special mudra to avert evils. Palms together, the ring fingers bound outward, and the four fingers hooking on the ring fingers. It should be like this. So the two index fingers are hooking on the ring fingers, this mudra. The mudra that I formed 5 years ago, someone remembered. That's incredible.
使用时机以及要配塔咒，这个手印的来源，这个手印比较少人用啊。
Very few people use this mudra.
这个其实只要向前，
If you point it forward,
这样子发出力量
the power it generates would emit light and has power. And all the evil gods and malicious ghosts will disperse, and not only disperse, they're almost game over or dead. That's Japanese game over.
它的根源呢
Its origin, it's from the 3 Mountain 9 Master long ago when I was 26 years old. The mudra that they taught long ago, that's the origin that was taught to me that time. 3 Mountain Nun Marcus Master, spiritual master of Grandmaster. And the mantra, Hum, Hum, Pe.
Hum, Hum, Pe. Hum. 这所有金刚神的咒日。
So Hum is the mantra syllable of all the Vajra protectors, of Vajra gods. Hum. And Pe is to subjugate, to eradicate, to disperse, to become nothing. Hum, Hum, Pe. That's the mantra you should chant. And then you form this mudra, which is the mudra to avert evils.
好的，这个问题就是这样子啊。
That's the question.
你2015年问的问题，现在是2025
Question
年
about 2015,
首印。
the mudra from 5 years ago.
师尊还可以这样子一下子就讲出来。
And Grandmaster could still remember and explain it right away. Not bad, I still have very good memory.
再来一个问题，
The next question,
净光的伏魔，
Grandmaster, in your book number
一位消瘦
272,
的老人，
Touch of the Pristine Light, on the chapter, A Slim Elderly Man, you wrote about Mudra in this lifetime was a farmer steadily deteriorating. His inner light radiance and transcendent power were abolished by his own karma. ... My question is a Mudra a Maha-Arhat? Arhatship is part of the four Sichli realms, which is a non-returning realm. What caused him his downfall? Please enlighten us. Many people ask this question. I have mentioned it in my book, Touch of the Pristine Light. Why was the great Arhat could be reborn in the human world and became an old elderly man of the Buddha Sakyamuni's 10 great disciples? Maudgalyayana had the first and foremost transcendent power. Sariputra was first and foremost in wisdom, and Maudgalyayana had the most and foremost transcendent power. However, the insight here is that transcendent power does not allow you to transcend life and death. It is just a side effect of your spiritual cultivation. It doesn't mean that you can attain Buddhahood by having transcendent power. A Buddha definitely would have transcendent power when you attain Buddhahood. However, transcendent power does not necessarily mean Buddhahood. Does not necessarily allow Buddhahood either. There are many levels. Maudgalyayana died a horrible death. Although he had transcendent power, but he also had grave karma. Because in his past lives, he killed many people. So, of the Buddha's 10 great disciples, or the 500 arhats, Maudgalyayana died a horrible death. He was killed by tons of rocks and thrown down from the mountains, and his whole body was totally crushed with lots of blood, and because of his karma. So he wanted to escape with running under the earth or with fleet-footedness to escape that calamity, but he could not. He was being crushed by the rock because when the karma appeared, he could not escape from it. When he wanted to run under the ground became extremely hard, and he wanted to fly, he could not. So finally he died under the crushing of the rocks. That's how he died. So that showed he had karma. His karma was still there. He had to experience many lifetimes before he could have attainments. He had to eradicate his karma first, even though he was a great arhat. He was a great arhat during the time of Sakyamuni Buddha. The Buddha did not ask him to save the Sakya clan, but he used his own transcendent power. He took his own initiative and used his transcendent power to use his alms bowl and to collect all of the Sakya clan and save it inside his bowl. Because at that time the Sakya kingdom was being attacked by Liu Liwang, by another king, and was almost eradicated. And Maudyagalana took all the Sakya clan, the kings and the ministers, and about 500, which means many of the clan members, and brought them back to Sakyamuni Buddha. Sakyamuni Buddha did not ask him to do it, but he did it on his own. And Maudyagalana told Sakyamuni Buddha, I have brought your clan main members here and saved them. And the Buddha asked, where are they now? You saved them. Where is it? It's inside my alms bowl. It's inside this bowl. And then the Buddha said, so pour them out so that I can see. And when he did that, it was just blood water, so he could not save them. The Buddha did not ask him to save the Sakya clan. Why did you go and use your transcendent power to go to above Sakya kingdom and save many of the Sakya clan members? And yet you did not save any of them. Was that you that actually killed all of them because they all became blood? What should you do then? Too late. Nothing you could do. You could not have saved them. You did not listen to me. Now you killed them. 500 of them. Sakyamuni Buddha was a Buddha, but he was also born in the animal realm. And he had gone to hell too. The Buddha had gone to hell too. Don't think that Sakyamuni Buddha was always holy. He was once in hell, in the animal realms, as the deer king, as the elephant king, as the peacock king. He was animals. And also, so in the journey of spiritual cultivation, although Maudyagalana was a great arhat, he had killed many people before. And in that lifetime, he was fighting with the deviant groups and killed a lot of people. And he was trying to save the Sakya clan, and the Sakya clan became blood. So he had to repay his karma. although he was a great arhat, he still have to clear his karma because he had killed many people and now he had become an elderly man. His original soul was a great arhat, but his nirmanakaya or transformation body is still in the saha world, repaying his karma. So when I wrote this, it shocked the Buddhist field. How could the Maudya Kalyana, the great arhat, became an elderly man? Because he had grave karma. So he used his transcendent power to kill lots of deviant followers. Therefore, his death was done by the deviant followers with rocks that he became like mush of bloody flesh. But at that time, because of his karma, he could not use his transcendent power anymore. But one day, once he eradicated his karma, he would return to his state of great arhat because he was originally great arhat. He was a non-returning, however, his nirmanakaya is still in samsara, in saha world, so he had to cultivate spiritually still the best he could. That's my answer. Homage to our lineage root guru, His Holiness Living Buddha Lian Sheng. My question is, I once read in your book, Talking Heart to Heart, Volume 10, on the 13th chapter on Usnisha Vijaya Dharma. If all of a sudden, for no reason at all, you start to sweat profusely and your body emits foul odor, that is a sign of bad luck. For no apparent reason, you feel upset and anguished. A disaster is in the making. A spiritual cultivator should not feel disturbed or agitated. His temperament should be mild and moderate. A true sadhaka is like this. His heart and mind are harmonious and calm. So if you feel disconcerted, that's not good. If you cannot control it and discard your apprehension, you sweat, you feel feverish or cold, weak energy, dark facial aura, these are all signs of catastrophes. You need to practice Usnisha Vijaya Buddha Dharma right away. First, should you chant the long mantra of Usnisha Vijaya Dharani? 2. If during the mantra recitation of the practice, warmth arises naturally and I feel light and at peace, should I still visualize the mantra syllables radiating light or do the breathing practice, etc.? Because sometimes I feel that whenever I do something intentionally, I already exit my samadhi. That's the question. If you feel upset and sweat a lot and foul body odor and dark facial aura, that's signs of calamities. That's right. That's the signs of catastrophes. Sweating, if it's a normal sweating, that's okay. So it doesn't mean anytime you sweat, it's a calamity. Like if the weather is hot, or in Southeast Asia, it's hot. When I visit Southeast Asia, I ask them, how many seasons do you have? And they say 2. 2 seasons.
2个季节。我说哪2个季节？
So,
一个就是热，
which ones? Hot.
一个就是非常热。
And the next one is the extremely hot
在
season
印尼啊，印尼，
in Indonesia.
印尼有几个季节？
How many seasons do you have? And they replied,
跟非
hot
常热。
and extremely hot.
我到马来西亚，到新
When
加
I
坡也是一
visited
样，
Malaysia
跟
and
我讲
Singapore, it's
只
the
有一个
same.
季节，
Only
是
one
热
season, hot
跟非常热，
and extremely hot.
那都会流汗了。
Then, of course,
台
you
湾
would
的夏天
sweat.
也是很
Or
热。
summer in Taiwan
刚
is
刚
also
洗
very
好澡一
hot.
走出来，已经
As
又
soon
流
as
汗，
you finish your
那
shower,
还要再洗一次。
and then you
那
would
天天
sweat
就在
again,
就躲在浴
and
室
then
里面洗澡就
you
好。
bathe again, then you would just bathe all day long.
刚刚洗好澡一走出来，就已经全身都是
As
满
soon
身
as
大
you walk
汗。
out from the bathroom, you start to sweat. It's still very hot
这个
in the
热，
summer.
这个就不算
So
是
it's
那个
okay.
灾难，这个不是灾难。
That kind of sweating is not considered
但
a
是这里的
calamity,
出汗是不寻常的出汗，
but it is an
一会热，
unusual
一会
setting.
冷，一会热，一会冷，是病了。
It's hot and cold and hot and cold.
气很
That's
弱，呼吸很
sickness.
喘。
That's calamity.
那要
Or you have weak energy, or breathing.
一下子没有呼吸就完蛋了。你这个气
People
很
who's
弱，
about to die would
一定要
breathe like that with
没有
gasps
呼
and
吸不来。
pant. Then you
脸
die
很黑，很紧。我们讲了，
and
印堂
you
发黑。
pant, but you cannot.
你不要以为人
breathe
脸很黑
Or
就是有
dark
灾难。
facial aura.
你知道吗？
It's not always,
那个
it's
非
not
洲的
necessarily
美国的
tanned
哪一
face.
个脸不黑呀？
You don't think that any tan or dark face
你知道那个
indicates
非洲
calamties.
每
You
一个
know,
人都
all
脸都很
African
黑。
Americans have dark
不是
face.
指东方人印堂发黑。我们
But
东方人
what I
印堂发
meant
黑
was that just the dark aura,
印堂发黑的时候，
the dark facial aura, or in the forehead
师尊如果去游泳
for
晒太
the
阳，
yellow
脸
skin.
就很黑，
But not because you're
那
tan,
不是
because you're
灾
sunning.
灾难，
Oh,
而是你印堂
that
发黑，
doesn't
你仔细
mean
看
it's calamity.
印堂发黑了，都是有灾难的。
But if you have a dark aura, that means you
不
have
只念真圣佛母
a
的长
calamity.
咒，
Then you have to recite Ushnisha Vijaya Buddha Dhamma.
也可以修尊圣佛母的法。
Not only chanting the long mantra of Ushnisha Vijaya Dharani, but you can also perform her Dharma practice. This is considered one of the longevity
所以你
deities.
修尊圣佛母法，
So
它
if
是
you
长寿
do
善
the practice
就
of
可以延
Ushnisha
长
Vijaya,
寿命，
then
除
you
掉
can extend your lifespan
修
to
尊圣佛母
eradicate
法
your
要不但要
catastrophes.
持咒，还要观想，
And not only chanting mantra, you also have to visualize, enter
接尊
samadhi,
圣佛母的手
form her mudra.
这是重点。
That's the key point.
如果在修法念咒的时候，自然
If
产
during
生
mantra
有
recitation,
清安的感觉，
the warm sensation arises
怎
naturally,
样呼吸
and I
的
feel
方
light and
法
at peace,
因为有时觉得
should I still visualize the mantra syllables radiating light or
你
do
能
the
够
breathing
产生
practice,
软
etc.？
有清安的感觉，
If you can feel the warmth and feel light and at peace,
所以真正
that's
佛母
signs of spiritual responses.
产生软意清安
So
的感觉，
Ushnisha Vijaya Dharma is
还要
very
观
good.
想昼日放光，
Visualizing the
要
mantra
怎样
syllables
呼吸
radiating
等等的
light,
方法。平时我们呼吸
or
呢
do the breathing
是
practice.
慢
Normally,
长，
our breathing practice should be
呼吸得很
finely,
细
slowly,
很长，
and
这个
long.
是长寿的象征。
That Those are the symbols of longevity. And mantra syllables radiating light is also good. You can do those.
你最好不要一着意就能够在禅定里面比较长久。禅定有两个字非常的重要，一个是松。
You can extend
松。
Your meditation. Don't act with diligent care. In meditation, you have to be relaxed.
根本放得非常的宽广。
That your heart is totally open and expansive and connected with the consciousness of the universe. Then your samadhi will be long. So remember, in your meditation, you have to be relaxed. You have to relax and open and natural. Then nothing on your mind. Of course, if you do something intentionally, like if you have a thought, of course, then you would leave your meditation. But if you have no thoughts whatsoever, that's called relaxed and unperturbed or open, not caring about anything, very relaxed. That's in the meditation. Of course, if you care for something, then of course you would exit from meditation. When thoughts appear in your mind, you would exit from meditation. So you use all kinds of methods. In Lamdre, it was written, you use all kinds of methods to enter samadhi, to enter meditation. And all these methods are called the merit accumulation path of meditation. What we talked about yesterday. What is the merit accumulation path of meditation? Is the all kinds of methods to enter meditation. The non-dwelling. That would be the true meditation. And all the methods used to achieve that are called the merit accumulation path of meditation, which what we talked about yesterday. There are 4 elderly women selling the tea eggs on the same street, and they all have the same place and the same sign. And then the first one said that the 5 fragrance tea egg, $2 each. Nobody was there. And the second one put at the sign, this is a secret formula, $3 each. And there are few people. And the third one has a sign that this is the royal palace secret, $5 each, and it's pretty good. And the fourth one has a sign that the Korean royal palace secret recipe tea egg, $10 each, and yet it has a long line. So what does it show? The egg is not important, but the bullshit is. Doesn't matter what you use, but people just believe what's written on the sign. So nowadays, when the elderly people drink tonic wine, like tonic wine that tonify kidneys and the young energy, everybody would buy it. And there's a kind of herb that's pretty rare, that's very bestseller. What's that? That's Viagra. Many people buy. As soon as it's on the market, it's been selling really well. And the pharmaceutical company make a lot of money. Why? Viagra, play of words of Viagra. It just sounded very strong. That's just the so this is the bullshit. So if you, it's not just marketing. So if you can do it well, then your business is good. Xiaoming prayed to God to fulfill his wish. And God asked, what's your wish? And Xiaoming said, please give me a job that I don't have to be disturbed or work so hard, but with lots of money. How could such a thing exist? If it exists, I want it too. I want it from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I don't have to give Dharma teaching. Don't have to perform ceremonies, and many monies would come. Lots of money would come. Is it possible? And God said, okay, go home. You'll be satisfied. And God changed Xiaoming into the merit box. He doesn't have to work, and people would put money into it. You know, the money box in the temple. So don't daydream like that. That's the spiritual cultivator. So Xiaoming was transformed into the money box. You don't have to do anything. And people visiting the temples would stick the money into the box. Today, let's continue on Lamdre. Yesterday, talk about endowed with the 3 visualizations to bless the bliss, etc. of the 12 consorts endowed with lotus. What is the 12 consorts endowed with lotus? So, the females, consorts, female practitioners who are endowed with signs of Dakini. So they are considered the Dakini consorts. Why 12? Because the 4 guardian mothers plus the 8, the Dakinis of the 8 directions, altogether 12. So 12 Dakinis. That's what it means. the 12 consorts endowed with lotus.
这个意思，但是我不能
That's
讲
what it meant.
他的要认出12具莲母是
And
怎么样
to recognize, how do you recognize these 12 kinds of
我知道，但
consorts?
是不能够讲。
I cannot tell you. I know, but I cannot say it.
现在跟大家讲功德果。
Now,
若以
I would like
其道
to expound on the
达到
meritorious
家庭道
fruition.
软位时，
If by relying on this path one achieves the warmth position of the preliminary path, which is differentiated into 3 kinds of
定
warmth,
心之软相，
big, medium, and small,
现其
and by
其
this
分
one
为
enters into the 3 accumulation realms.
颂吟
By the warmth phenomena of the heart of meditation, one arises to the 4 meritorious
既
fruitions.
有此意
The verse stated, attaining the 4 fruitions of the abandonment of the mundane body, speech, and mind. The 4 fruitions of the abandonment
因为现
are
其
born
之
from
色
this meaning.
出
It is due to the absorption and assimilation of the unusual maturity of the 3 fruits. In sum, it is divided into 3, the 4 fruits appearing from the 4 positions, the 4 fruits appearing from beginning interests, the 4 fruits appearing from various school interests, and the first, the 4 fruits appearing from the 4 positions. The stable meditation itself establishes a bogus name for the fruition. Primarily, it is to attain the warmth divisions of the 3 accumulation periods of the worldly path. The latter 2 fruition names of the 4 fruits are established based on the benefits of the meditation itself, and they are merely supplementary. In the beginning, the name of the fruit of abandoning ties is established on abandoning the mundane body, speech, and mind, and the fruit of unusual maturity is established on the maturity of the storehouse that is originally existing. The fruit of innate equal flow established based on the enjoyment of the deeds, and the result of one's meticulous diligence to cut off all the breakable diversities, etc., is referred as the functional fruit or the immaculate fruit. The fruit of abandoning ties is by gradually strengthening the warmth sensation, and from it, and by relying on one's and others' bodies, the yidam appears, while the mouth chants mantra, and the mind gives rise to the incessant, indiscriminate meditation. This is the first kind of fruit. Also, by merely attaining the speech of complete understanding of outsiders, and the ability to speak accordingly and give rise to the unobstructed sensation is the second fruit. At this moment, the blissful experience inside the body is ceaseless. Even when the causes and conditions of suffering are forcefully pressing, one can still give rise to bliss. This is the third fruit. When all afflictions subside, the coarse divisions of the 8 Dharma gradually diminish, and all attachments become minuscule. This is the fourth fruit. This is talking about 4 fruits. Meditation is divided into 4 fruits. The first one is the fruit of abandoning ties, and the second one is the fruit of unusual maturity. The third fruit is the fruit of innate equal flow, and the fourth one is the immaculate fruit of fruition. So what is the fruit of abandoning ties? A human being is always held in bondage. Held bondage by what? By your own thoughts, by wealth, sex, names, food, sleep, by your own thoughts. If you can abandon your thoughts, the former thought has passed and the future thought has not come. In between, that's the fruit of abandoning ties. At that moment, you have no thoughts. You will not be held in bondage by thoughts. That's the fruit of abandoning ties. So gradually, you discard your thoughts, and it comes back again, and you discard it again, it comes back again, and you discard it again. And gradually, you become very strong. That's called the fruit of abandoning ties. The fruit of abandoning ties of meditation is a kind of fruition. In Lamdre, what's being talked about is just a temporary name that's given. When the thought comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes, and gradually when the thoughts mostly goes, then that's called the fruit of abandoning ties. So it's called the state of no mind. And mundane people are being held in bondage by what? By lots of things. Whatever that you attach to, then you will be held bondage by them. That's the first fruition. That's the kind of signs in meditation that can appear. When you chant mantra, you can continually chant mantra. And the mind gives rise to the incessant, indiscriminate meditation. No, that's if you can continually chant mantra and your mind is on the mantra, that's the second fruit. When your mind, so your thoughts are only chanting mantra, and the mantra is continual, and your mind is on the mantra. So, the ability to speak accordingly and give rise to the unobstructed sensation. So, you are chanting the mantra and your mind is completely on the mantra. That's called the fruit of unusual maturity. It's not completely mature, has not completely entered into meditation, and your mind is on the mantra chanting. It's not completely mature. So the name is the fruit of not yet maturity. And the next one is the fruit of innate equal flow. If you start to feel a kind of bliss in your body, and you can also call it light and easy, that's also a kind of bliss. This kind of sensation of being light and peaceful is the ceaseless, blissful experience inside the body. Even when there are sufferings on your body, but you can still use your bliss to subdue or eradicate the suffering, and you're always amidst the blissfulness. And this is the third fruit and called the fruit of innate equal flow. So the bliss is like the river flow. It's moving inside your body, moving smoothly. The bliss is incessant, continual, and you're abiding in the bliss just like the water flow. It's called the fruit of innate equal flow, the third kind of phenomena of meditation. And the fourth fruit, because you're very diligent in your meditation practice, all afflictions subside. And the result of your meticulous diligence to cut off all the breakable adversities is called the immaculate fruition. So you cut off all the breakable adversities. So it's like breaking off all your thoughts. No more thoughts exist. Completely relaxed and open. And your mind is non-abiding. So to cut off things that's unbreakable at this time is called the immaculate fruition. The fruition with no contaminations. That's the fourth fruition, the highest. So to cut off all the unbreakable thoughts, and you abide in the relaxation and openness. So the dwelling is the same as non-dwelling. So that's the completely pure, immaculate fruition. That's the explanation of this part. When all afflictions subside, the course divisions of the eight dharma, the eight worldly dharma, gradually diminish, completely stopped, and all attachments become minuscule, or no more attachments, or just very little left. That's the fourth fruit, which is the immaculate fruit. These are the four kinds of fruits of meditation. After dinner, Dad brought Xiaoming to stroll by the riverside. And then look at the other side of the shore and just see completely dark. And they say, oh, and on the other side we saw lots of lights. And then Xiaoming said, let's go to the other side. And Dad replied, why? Because over there you can only see darkness, and we are on this side, we can see lots of lights. So the true immaculate fruit, there is no darkness and there's no light. When you're completely pure, there is no so-called darkness or light. Because if you think of the light, then you're being held in bondage by the light. If your thought is in darkness, then you're held in bondage by the darkness. When you reach the true meditation, there is no darkness and no light. And even when there's light, you're not attached to it. Xiaoming's mom is
是小儿
ob
科的医生。
obstetrician
有一天
and
老师问他，
his dad is a
你爸爸妈妈
pediatrician.
是做什么的？
And the teacher one day asked him, "What do your
我妈
mom
妈
and
是
dad
生
do?"
产孩子的，
Xiaoming
我爸
replied,
爸是修
"My
理
mom
孩
is
子的。
delivering kids and my dad is fixing
这小
kids."
明讲的很对啊，
What
因为
Xiaoming
妈妈
said
是
is right
妇产科的医生，
because his mom was an
我妈妈是
obstetrician
生产
or gynecologist
孩子的，
and
那
my
爸爸
dad,
呢是小儿
so
科的
that's
医生，
why
我爸爸是修理
she's
孩子的。也有看得
delivering
到
kids and his dad was a pediatrician, so that's fixing kids.
这个有一个问题，为什么白头发拔掉一
It's a
根，
question.
会再长出10根的白头发？
Why a gray hair
这个答案是这样：
being pulled out,
因为
instead there
周
would be
围的
10 gray
猎
hair
看见青
because
猎人连
the
根
black
拔，
hair
所以
or the
脸
dark
都
hair
是相
around
反
the gray hair saw
嗯
a family member being pulled
那
out
今天呢，
was shocked to
很
paleness
感谢大
become
家
gray.
这个
Today,
云
truly
端的
grateful
在云端的，
to those on the
在这里
clouds
还有所有的这个观赏的同门，
and also all
看着网
viewers
络直播，他们
on
在
the
这个线上
webcast,
的同门，
online,
非
those
常感谢
online.
你们，
Thank you
能够
very
我们
much
能够这样子相聚，也是一
that
种福分。
we
能
can
够
be
在一
together
起
like
也
this
是一
is
种福
also
分，
a kind of
非
good
常难得
fortune.
的。
It's
希
a
望大家
very
告诉大家，
cherished
为大家解答问题，
affinity
是师尊所乐意的。
that answering
我
your
不能是
questions
做一个功德箱，
is something that Grandmaster
我还
is
要是
very
要
pleased to
传
do.
法
I
说
don't
法，
want to just become a money
把
box.
成佛的
I
种
want to
子
spread the Buddha
种在
Dharma, to
所有
give
的
Dharma
弟子的
teaching,
身上。
to plant the seeds of Buddhahood inside the hearts of all
非
disciples
常感
of
谢
Mani
法
Padme
王
Hum.
圣尊莲。